All right, so Enzo Maresca has arrived. He is at Cobham. He has conducted his first interviews, I believe a few training sessions at this time. Very exciting to have our new manager in the building. Very exciting to see how he's going to construct this team, how we're going to move forward with our preseason. Kind of had some lackluster preseasons in the recent past, so hopefully we can get a good one under our belt. Like I said, he's conducted his first interview. It was the Chelsea like internal interview, so obviously designed to make the manager look great and the fans feel like we're going to win the league next year. So definitely got to pick and choose what you take out of it. But I think there were a few kind of important keys and just takeaways you can take about learning from Enzo as a manager and just what he expects from his time at the club and what he thinks we should expect from him. So to kick it off, definitely like net positive. Everything's meant to be positive. They're trying to inspire us into backing the new guy that they just brought in and put this money behind. So definitely have to be wary of the messaging in there, but. Some things I felt that were Enzo was very genuine about that excited me. To be honest, I was watching closely for any flaws or things that kind of perked my ears, but nothing too much in terms of the negative. I'm sure when the general reporters get in there, there'll be some more to pick at. But the main thing that stuck out, well, I'll start with one thing is he never mentioned Pep when discussing previous managers that he's worked with and learned from. It was very interesting how Pep wasn't one of those managers listed. I think it was a pretty pointed question just about the managers he's worked with in the past, and very interesting that Pep Guardiola wasn't kind of. He would most likely be one of the first ones off my mind, kind of if I was asked that question. But it seems like he. I don't know if it was a decision. I don't know if it slipped my mind. I believe it was a decision. I can't necessarily think of why. Obviously, they'll be competing head to head, but I didn't think it would be nothing too major to give him some props there. I don't think it was done on purpose either. Just definitely something interesting I picked up. If he could have mentioned him and he didn't, so I think that's definitely very interesting. And then kind of pushing on through the interview, another piece that stuck out. I think I always talk about standards on this channel and how I'm always looking for managers and coaches on all the teams I follow, whether it's Chelsea, Sixers, my favorite fighters. Always look for coaches just to set standards, live by them, and just don't fold on them. And Enzo seems to be kind of that manager. He talked about his style of play a lot. Obviously, every manager has a style, but he was very much so emphasizing how, not emphasizing, but just discussing how he was bringing his style, how he was excited to impart his his kind of what he has learned from the game throughout his years and impart that into Chelsea. He has recently won a title in a lower league. I think we are obviously pushing towards title ambitions, but just want just somebody to get us competing again. I think that's very huge to know. And then one kind of one that stuck out from Poch's time, it was huge. Just the identification of players. A direct quote from this is Enzo said, "I know all of them." He mentioned watching film from those previous 2 or 3 weeks leading up to joining the club. He mentioned how he watched almost every game he possibly could get his hands on, and just to really learn about the players that he's gonna be coaching moving on through this preseason. Definitely a big one for me since Poch is he kind of really dropped the ball on identifying our players that we have within the club and where they play best. I think a big one we're seeing is with Cucurella. I think Cucurella is obviously best kind of being inverted and just not necessarily in the traditional senses that Poch was trying to play him. Cucurella's over there killing it and spanning many roles, and I think it just shows how Poch just kind of misidentified his abilities until like the last few games of the season, which was clearly unacceptable, which is why we're here with Enzo today. But definitely was exciting to hear. I think that was something that definitely he didn't need to say that. He didn't need to say I know all of them. I think that was definitely a moment for me in that interview. I think these interviews are usually dull and kind of just like brain dead positivity, just trying to get the fans like hype around a manager. But I think that was something I think was very genuine from him, that he does feel like he knows these players, and knows what will be best for them to put him in winning situations. And that excites me a lot. We have a lot of young talent, and I think a big kind of debate amongst the fans is whether we had the talent last year to finish higher than we were, and potentially within the top four placements to get in the competitions that we won. And I think the answer was yes. And I think honestly, Enzo believes the answer was yes as well within the interview, the way he talked about the players, and just I think he was very genuine that he feels that we have the players here to reach our goals of top four. He loosely mentioned title contention, but obviously that's our long term goal of every club and every manager. But yeah, definitely not a minor first step, but obviously something very controlled by Chelsea. But very interesting to see his initial thoughts on coming into the club. And yeah, just excited to see what he has in store. We'll continue to look out as his interviews continue. I'm sure he'll have kind of a general journalist and population interview, journalist population interview coming up soon. So hopefully we'll be able to see what that's about, and kind of maybe we'll have a little bit more to pick out. Maybe it won't be all pluses and there'll be some kind of worries to pick out. Hopefully not. But yeah, that's about it for Enzo. Moving on into some other Chelsea news, I'm gonna brush over very quickly as I wrap up the video. Ben Chilwell has been said to be linked to Manchester United. They're said to have interest in the left back, the wing back. Yeah, this is one that I think I'm gonna do my best to be respectful about. But I would love to see this deal occur. I think it would be great timing for Chelsea to let this player go. I think he has offered what he can to us. I think he's had a great time. We've achieved the Champions League. I think he was key to that season. I think since then, we don't really use that role he really excelled in. That role doesn't really exist at the moment at Chelsea. It doesn't seem like it exists in Enzo's system, but we'll see. Maybe there will be some adjustments, and maybe there will be a place for him. But kind of as it stands, I'm not a fan of his recent form. Obviously, injuries can't do anything about that. Obviously, wish he was healthy to show us more. But when he's been out there, just hasn't shown much positive for us to build off of. I think I'm being very very overly respectful right now. I think he's been a very frustrating player to watch at the club. I think I've seen League Two, maybe it was a League One team. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but used him specifically as their press trigger. I think that was a very embarrassing moment in game for the club. I think he just has shown mishaps, just inabilities, just brain dead moments. Just I think it's just his time. I think he's had some very good moments, and I think it's gonna start to become something where he may not necessarily be remembered as much for those good moments. I think I might be in the minority of Chelsea fans who would be very very excited to see this deal go through. I don't know. I don't know if there's a bunch of fans excited. They'll be excited to see him stay or fighting to see him stay, but I'm definitely amongst the group of thinking that it's just his time to go. I think he's done well in our Champions League season of him being here. I think it was overall good investment, and let's see how much money we can make back. Maybe Manchester United will just give us the whole thing. Who knows? I doubt it, but yeah, let's hope they put a deal on the table, and hopefully we just accept it. Just close your eyes, accept it, send him to United. I think we bought another player that can play in the left back position, probably more so towards. He definitely can play in the left back position. Probably is more towards the legs of Maresca. I can assume. I haven't watched much of him yet. Haven't had the time. But I'm assuming if he's coming into the club, he fits Enzo's style a little bit more than Chilwell would, obviously. So yeah, Chilwell linked to United. Enzo's at Cobham. Things are kind of rolling on in this off season. Hopefully, we can get some players for high value out the door and kind of keep the ones. I hear some names I'm getting scared of. The Carney stories have kind of dropped off a bit, thankfully, but I'm gonna keep my eye there, as that's one of my favorites. Hopefully, we can keep him around and give him some playing time, see what he can do. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Enzo's at the club. Very excited to see what he can do for us. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know in the comments what you think Enzo will do for us. If you think what goals you think he should are reasonable for the club and he should be working towards. And yeah, just keeping that standard is always important. So appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Always appreciated. And talk to you guys in a bit.